please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Hi there, good afternoon. This is Your Stocks on CNBC TV18. I'm Mangla Malu. With me is Sumaira. Good afternoon, Sumaira. Just 5 minutes ago while we were doing mid-cap radar, all was well for the markets, and suddenly it's retesting that 200-day moving average. Just pull up a couple of these stocks. Yes Bank, for instance, that one, remember it being in the green, fairly in the green. That one's moved into the red at the low point of the day. And you have Adani Ports, HPCL. Along with that, we have the IT stocks. The IT index should come up for you, actually. That one's also taken a sharp knock. TCS, the key culprit out there, which is at the low point of the day. So we'll keep an eye out on that, right?
Yeah, also the European market has turned a tad. So it opened a tad bit in the positive, but now the FTSE is down about 0.3%. Even the CAC has turned negative, and the expectation was that ahead of the Fed policy decision, that markets would go long into that. But now I suppose with the turning in the European market as well, our own market has taken a bit of a knock.
That's right, and we're seeing a sharp sell-off in a couple of these mid-cap stocks as well. BEL, for instance, should come up for you. That one's at the low point of the day. SAIL metal stocks, of course, are under pressure. So SAIL from the mid-cap space or non-index space. United Breweries too has slipped about 4.5% from the high point of the day. It would make sense to pull up the advanced decline chart. Remember, we opened with 5 stocks in the green and 1 in the red, and now that line has narrowed. Still, we're about more stocks in the green, 1,200 stocks in the green as against 900, but that line is closer in today's trading session than it was before.
All right, so let's get started. Tell you what's happening in our own market. Well, we're certainly near the lows of trade. For now, the mid-cap index also has lost a fair bit, down now to about 0.3% higher. Investors await the Fed rate decision that's due tonight. It's time to answer all the stock queries that are being sent in by our viewers. We have Sandeep Wagle and Shaina Mukaddam who are joining in to answer these queries. And first up, we have a query coming through from Pranav Modi, who's on the line with us from Ahmedabad. Hi, how can we help you?
मैडम मैंने लुपिन लिया हुआ है करीबन एक साल पहले 300 शेयर 1380 रुपये में है।
ओके, और अब आप इसमें से निकलने का लेवल ढूंढ रहे हैं?
यस मैम, अगर मैं निकलना चाहूँ और वही अमाउंट में किसी और कौन सा शेयर में इन्वेस्ट कर सकता हूँ ताकि मेरा जो लॉस है वो शॉर्ट टाइम में रिकवर हो जाए, ऐसा कुछ?
ओके. Sandeep, let me come to you on this. He's losing a fair amount actually on Lupin. He's been holding for 5 months. He's a medium-term investor. He's okay to bite the bullet now and cut his losses. Also looking for an investment opportunity elsewhere where he can make good that loss.
Time may not be that great a strategy. But if the view is medium term, I would say exit on the bounce around 800, 820. As the stock can test even 700 levels were the market to go down from current levels. So in that sense, Lupin is not a strong stock. Instead that, if he wants to be in pharma, I would recommend a Biocon.
All right. 820 तक स्टॉक जा सकता है, वो संदीप जी की राय है. एंड ही सेज कि बायोकॉन आप ले सकते हैं, पर एक फंडामेंटल व्यू भी ले लेते हैं. शाहिना, व्हाट डू यू थिंक ऑफ लुपिन? ही इज लूजिंग अ फेयर अमाउंट ऑफ मनी, 1.8 लाख रुपीस, लॉस्ट अबाउट हाफ हिज कैपिटल दैट ही हैड इन्वेस्टेड अ ईयर अगो.
No, well, I think that from current levels he can continue holding it for some more time. I believe this quarter numbers are going to be very disappointing. So if it's very short term, then it is better to move into some other sector. But if it is medium to longer term, then I think small products the company is introducing, the US FDA issues should be sorted out over the next 6 odd months, 6 months to 1 year. So only if he's got that time frame, he should continue holding. Otherwise, he can get out at the current levels of about 820, 830 that Sandeep was recommending.
Okay, प्रणव जी, आपके लिए राय यही है कि फिलहाल 6 महीने से 1 साल तक अगर आप बने रह सकते हैं ल्यूपिन में, तब तो आपको शायद जो आपका लॉस है वो आप कट कर सकें. अगर उतना आपका टाइम होराइजन नहीं है तो 820 या 830 का जो लेवल है उसमें आप इसमें से निकलने की कोशिश करिए. अगर आपको फार्मा में ही बने रहना है तो आप बायोकॉन जैसा स्टॉक ढूंढ सकते हैं. लेकिन अब जो आपकी पोजीशन है उसमें ज़रूरी है कि आप अपना स्टॉप लॉस बना के चलें, और 740 750 का जो लेवल है अगर वहाँ तक ये स्टॉक गिरे तो आपको उसमें से तुरंत निकल जाना चाहिए।
ओके, यानी अब कोई बेटर स्टॉक होगा अगर फार्मा में नहीं जाना है तो कोई और बेटर स्टॉक?
Okay, Shaina, you have a take on that? Anything that you like currently where he can look, I mean, which looks good for him to make up this loss?
I personally hold Havells. I think there we can see it's a stable stock, not really corrected, but here I think there is good opportunity. But these are longer term holding stocks where consumer durables will start doing better. He can look at some other CV segment stock like Ashok Leyland, which is doing well in the current market times also, and expected to continue to do well. You have another stock in banking sector. I think Yes Bank. These stocks are giving good correction. You can look at it to enter with if you're a shorter term investor, I think technically also Yes Bank looks better. So I think he's got various opportunities in different sectors he can look at. I personally hold these stocks.
All right, तो प्रणव जी आपके लिए यही राय है, किसी और सेक्टर में जाना चाहेंगे तो हैवेल्स है, अशोक लेलैंड और येस बैंक, ये तीनों शाहिना जी की राय है. With that we'll move on to the next query. We have K.A. Narasimha writing to us from Bengaluru. Holds 205 shares of TCS for 2,529 rupees for the last 1.5 years. Is a long-term investor, wants to know whether to hold or sell. Sandeep, prospects for the IT sector, TCS, he's making a fair amount of money. You think he should stick around for more?
Mangalam, I think so. This is a defensive sector but has been outperforming in the recent past, and I would recommend a hold with a stop loss of 20C. My target over the next 12 to 15 months would be anywhere between 3,050 3,100. So I certainly see some more upside.
We have our two experts, Shaina and Sandeep, with us to answer the many queries which are being sent in. So let's get the next query in. Chetna A writes to us from Mumbai. She holds 1,000 shares of Subros at 25 rupees. She's been holding for about 3 years now. She also has bought 1,000 shares at 198 rupees for about a year. She's a long-term investor and wants to know whether to hold or to sell. So she's making a collective profit now, I think, of nearly 3 odd lakhs. Shaina, you recommend taking some money off?
Yeah, I think that after a very good rally, the stock is now in a corrective mode. So I would recommend that she keeps a good stop loss. Keep a stop loss of about 290. And I would keep a target of something like 320, where I believe she should book her profits. Basically, the reason being that the debt is very high. The debt, I'm not very comfortable with, debt equity is more than 1 time. And I think in terms of valuation, while it is not too expensive, on a EV to EBITDA basis, because the plant and the company had problems in the last 1 year because of their fire in their plant, I think on a PE basis it is expensive, and given the strong rally, I would take some money off the table.
Well, take some money off the table. Sandeep, your view, it's off its 52-week high of close around 440 odd. It's given up about 140 rupees from there. You think it's going to go down further, or there is some support?
Mangalam, I would recommend a hold with a stop loss of 285. For me, the trend is still intact. Whenever the market resumes the rally, I think the stock will outperform. My target would be 400, 410 with a 12 to 15 months time horizon. But having said that, in such a market where there is a likelihood of a downside, maybe booking some part profits also may be a good strategy.
All right, booking some part profits may be a good strategy. Just keep an eye out on the markets. We're below the 200-day moving average. SPI is the stock which is at the low point of the day. Now it has gone into the red as we speak, taking with it lower the Nifty PSU Bank Index, which is virtually at the lower end of today's trading session. But let's move on. We have Vinita Jain writing to us from Pune, holds 230 shares of Intellect Design Arena at 150 rupees for the last 6 months, making 5,000 rupees. A long-term investor, wants to know whether to hold or sell. Sandeep, IT space, a buzz, mid-cap IT, all the more. She's sitting on some bit of greens. Do you think there's room for more?
I think so. Intellect Design, I would talk of a 12 to 15 month target of anywhere between 220 to 30. Some more upside, not very much. And I would recommend a hold with a stop loss of 150.
All right, Shaina, your take?
I would also recommend a hold. I think she'll get better levels. It's a turnaround stock. Last year they moved into cash profit on the EBITDA level. This year, last 6 months, they've moved into a cash profit on the PAT level, profit after tax level. So I would hold it. Balance sheet is also improving. I think they're better levels.
Out on the indices, they're selling off, and how the Nifty is down about 70 points from the high point of the day. With the Sensex as well as the Nifty Bank, both of them have given up about 200 points from the high point of the day. SBI, of course, taking the Nifty PSU pack down, but we have the metal stocks under pressure too. Vedanta, Tata Steel, of course, under pressure. Now adding to that is Hindalco, which is at the low point of the day. So keep an eye out on this. Interesting to see that the 200-day moving average still continues to be a bit of a resistance on the upside. Let's move on to our next caller then. We have Ravinder Singh calling us from New Delhi, has investments in Jamna Auto. Ravinder?
Hi.
Go ahead.
Hello.
Hi.
Sir, I'm holding 400 share of Jamna Auto at the rate of 80, and what is the outlook for this company in the long term?
You are a long-term investor. All right. Shahina, you spoke about Subros. Jamna Auto, what is your view? He's a long-term investor, and the buy price is pretty close to where the stock price is right now.
I mean, of course, keep a stop loss of about 74 rupees. But I think he should continue holding, because if you saw the last quarter numbers, they're really showing a very good performance. 55% top line growth, 50% bottom line growth. I think it's got a decent balance sheet, and I would continue holding.
Sandeep, what's the target that you see on Jamna Auto?
Sumera, I would also recommend a hold. I look at a target of around 105 to 110 over the next 12 to 15 months. So for me, it's a hold with a stop loss of 69.
Stocks actually on our radar. Relcom has seen a sharp spike higher, so it's now up about 9% at the high point of trade. And along with it, the rest of the ADG pack has also spiked higher. And on the downside, we have something like a United Breweries, which has seen a very, very sharp move to the low point. But let's get in some more callers. We have now a query coming in from R. Prabhu, who's on the line with us from Tamil Nadu. Hi, sir. How can we help you?
Yeah, hi ma'am. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have 5 shares of About India at the rate of 4,600. So what can I expect in next 1 year? Should I just remain invested, or some other better stocks?
Just out of curiosity, I mean, this is a stock which doesn't have a lot of liquidity. I mean, it hardly has any volumes. Any particular reason you've chosen this? Is this part of a larger portfolio? Mr. Prabhu?
Yeah.
So is this part of a larger portfolio, Abbott, or is this amongst a few investments?
Yeah, this is one of my investments.
Okay,
so among my portfolio.
Okay, Shaina, he's making a bit of money on Abbott, but it's a very illiquid stock. What would be your advice for him? I mean, take this money and perhaps look for opportunities elsewhere?
I mean, if it is a small part of his portfolio, I would continue holding, because it is one company in the overall pharma space which has got very strong brands. If you remember, they had acquired the brands from Piramal way back in 2010, and also its own parents' brands, as well as marketing some of the insulin products. So I think it's got a good package of products, and it's got a niche. It's, I think with Glaxo and Abbott being the leaders in the domestic branded space and generic also. So I think he can continue holding if he's looking for an MNC type of pharma play.
Mr. Prabhu, how big a part of your overall portfolio is Abbott?
Sorry, sir?
How big a part of your overall portfolio is Abbott? You have 5 shares of Abbott, close to around 25,000 rupees odd.
Yes, of course, sir.
What percentage of your total portfolio is in Abbott?
It's about 20%, sir.
Okay, 20% of his portfolio is in Abbott. Sandeep, your view?
Well, I don't see anything in holding the stock, nothing wrong. I would hold with a stop loss of 5,200. I would expect a 6,100 target, 6,000 to 6,100 target, talk of the next 12 to 15 months.
All right, Mr. Prabhu, I hope that answers your query. Shaina, Sandeep, thanks very much for joining in and for advising our viewers. We'll wrap up your stocks on the note that for now it looks like the fall is ebbed. We seem to be holding on to that 200 DMA level on the Nifty, but we'll leave